Something fell through this. It stopped a long time ago. Nobody has listened since. It rains here. Not water. And it falls so slowly that you could pick a single drop out of the cloud and follow it all the way down with your eyes, the way you would watch a leaf come off a tree. Nothing here is in a hurry. This world has been raining for a very long time. It should have run out. On the 14th of January, 2005, a machine the size of a dinner table fell into an orange sky. It had been asleep for 7 years. It woke, opened a parachute, and began, slowly, deliberately, exactly as designed, to die. For 147 minutes it fell, photographing everything beneath it. And what rose out of the haze was so familiar that the people watching stopped talking. Riverbeds, drainage channels, coastlines, a floodplain, braided and branching, cut by something that had run downhill for a very long time. It looked like home. It was not home. Those channels are carved into water ice, frozen so hard it behaves like granite. The pale ground on that plain is not sand, and the rivers were cut by a liquid that on Earth we keep in pressurized tanks and burn. The probe came down on a shore, gently, and it kept talking for another 70 minutes, lying on its side in the dust, describing a beach nobody had ever seen. Then the cold took its batteries, and it stopped. It is still there, exactly where it fell. The only object humanity has ever set down on a world in the outer solar system, and it has been silent for 21 years. Almost everything you are about to see, we learned in those 147 minutes, and from one spacecraft that circled overhead for 13 years and then deliberately burned itself alive in Saturn's atmosphere rather than risk falling on anything. We have not been back. Stand on that plane. The sky above you is not black, and it is never blue. It is a low orange ceiling, and it presses down. The light is about 1,000 times weaker than the daylight you know. Noon here looks like the last few minutes of dusk, and it stays that way through an afternoon 8 days long. You would wait a long time for weather. A year out here runs almost 30 of hours, which means each season drags on for about 7 years of the same slow light, the same still air, the same orange ceiling. And then it begins to rain. On Earth, a raindrop hits you at 9 meters a second. It arrives as a small impact. You flinch. Here, a drop is wider than your fingernail, and it comes down at the speed of falling snow. You could watch it fall. You could pick one out of the cloud with your eyes and follow it down, and it would take so long that you would lose patience before it landed. This is what low gravity and thick, cold air do to a falling liquid. The atmosphere is 4 times denser than the air in your lungs right now. The ground pulls with 1/7 of Earth's strength. So the drops swell, and then they drift. And they are lighter than they look. Whatever that liquid is, it is not heavy, less than half the weight of water, drop for drop. It does not hammer the ground. It settles onto it. And most of it never arrives at all. The drops fall so slowly, through air so thirsty in the lower layers that they shrink on the way down, thinning, fading, evaporating back into the sky that made them. A storm can rain for hours here and leave the ground dry. Most of that rain dies before it lands. But not all of it. And when the rain does reach the ground, it does not soak in. The ground is ice, and it is far too cold to absorb anything. So the liquid runs, it gathers, and it cuts, and it goes looking for somewhere lower. Because something carved those channels, and something filled those seas. Follow the channels far enough and they widen and branch and join. The same dendritic pattern every river system on Earth makes, drawn in a liquid that would freeze your blood, cut into rock that is really ice. And then the ground drops away and there is a shoreline. The seas lie in the north, mostly. Almost all of that liquid gathered into one hemisphere, and nobody is certain why. They are vast, flat, and black. Ligeia Mare covers 130,000 square kilometers, half again the size of Lake Superior. Kraken Mare is larger still. And almost nothing moves on them. When the radar looked, the surface came back smooth as a mirror, a sea holding itself unnaturally, perfectly still. No wind worth the name, no tide, a body of liquid the size of a nation, and not a ripple across it. Except, occasionally, there is. Between 2007 and 2015, the radar caught something in Ligeia, a bright patch, tens of kilometers across, that had not been there before. It appeared. It changed shape. It vanished. Then it happened again and again in Kraken. Nobody knows what it is. Rising bubbles of nitrogen, floating solids, waves, something else. In 2014, the spacecraft tried to find out how deep Kraken Mare goes. It flew a 200-kilometer line across the sea and fired radar down through the liquid, listening for the echo off the bottom. Near the eastern shore, it worked. 20 meters. 35. Then it passed over the main body of the sea. And nothing came back. No echo. No floor. Either that sea is deeper than the instrument could reach, or the methane simply took the signal and kept it. We know it is at least 100 meters deep. It is probably more than 300. That is the honest answer, and it has not improved in 12 years. We have mapped the coastline of a sea whose bottom we have never found. So, clouds, rain, rivers, seas. A complete weather system running on the wrong liquid. It should not be running at all. High above all of it, sunlight is taking the sky apart. Ultraviolet light strikes methane and breaks it permanently. The fragments recombine into heavier things, ethane, acetylene, a slow organic soot that settles out of the air and never rises again. And the hydrogen set loose in the process is far too light for that gravity to hold. It drifts away and is gone. It is a one-way door. Every second, that sky loses a little more of itself, and none of it comes back. Run the arithmetic backwards, and you get an answer nobody likes. At the rate sunlight destroys it, every molecule of methane in that atmosphere should have been gone within 10 to 100 million years. The solar system is 4.5 billion years old. That is a candle still burning in a house abandoned 1,000 years ago. And yet the clouds still form. It still rains. Which means something down there is refilling it. We do not know what. The best guess is that the crust holds methane locked inside cages of ice, and that heat from below cracks them open and lets it breathe. Or that something erupts, cold volcanoes, venting slush instead of lava. We have looked for 20 years. Nobody has ever caught one erupting. There is another possibility, and it is worse. Maybe nothing is refilling it. Maybe we simply arrived during the last act, and everything we have been looking at, the rain and the rivers and the still black seas, is the long ending of something that has already been switched off. In a clean room in Maryland, right now, there is a fuselage, for meters long, nuclear-powered, 8 rotors. In 2028 it launches. In 2034 it falls into that orange sky the way the first one did. But this one will not land and die. It will fly, from dune field to dune field, for years, through the slowest rain in the solar system. It will stand on ground nothing has ever walked on. It will listen to weather nobody has ever heard. And it may finally find the thing that has been quietly feeding that sky for longer than our species has existed. Or it may find nothing and tell us we came late. There is a world where it rains slowly enough to watch, where rivers run and seas lie still, and the floor has never been found. Where a cycle turns and turns on fuel that ran out a long time ago. We do not know why it is still turning. Only that it is. For now. Out here, even silence has weight.